So in the end, when we go out, I'll just try to make public one idea of which I wrote about to John Hopfield 30 years ago. But I received negative answer. He said that they tried to do research in this direction and came to nowhere. And so they switched on to olfactory problems. That's how call it, the smell, but smell doesn't interest me. And what interests me is the associative memory. And so I'll finish my story. I'll finish my story like that. We'll come because it's too noisy here. We'll go to the part of the wood from which we began our walking. But now I'll just prepare. I have a pen, I'll call it flamaster, with me, and some paper. So I'll show a diagram. I'll draw a diagram. But before that, I'll try to explain it in words. Actually, I tried to write a song about artificial intelligence, and it begins like that. If we bind together 9 neurons in a tiny neuron net with the impedance endurance to make a propagation set, and so on. What's the idea? That we bind together not 10 billion of neurons like in this brain, but just 9 of them. And what happens then? At each step of time, 4 cells can be activated out of 9. And this will be called engramma, or recollection. And these recollections change each other in time. At the first time step, there is a recollection A, at the second recollection B, and then it turns into a recollection C. And this is what's called association. And something is happening with associations during the such phase of a dream as is called rapid eye movement dream, when we see dreams. And so we just go a bit further, and I'll show you a diagram. Because sometimes I discuss what will happen with us at the point of singularity. The point of singularity is to come in 2050 or 2030, and nobody knows what will happen then. I say that then an artificial intelligence would be created. But the people say that it's impossible. Nobody knows how to create artificial brain. So they say, and I say that I know how to create an artificial brain. And now I'll explain it to you, to anybody. I think if you put it into your tube, the humanity will know. Now I'll put the snails back to the container, and I'll take out the pencil. I guess. I'll get out the pencil, and it's not easy. Here it is, and here I need some paper. So let the paper be this. This is the paper. It's big enough to draw me a diagram upon it. So let it be 9 neurons, a matrix. And this is the state of this matrix in the period of time t0. There'll be the first recollection, A. It includes only 4 connected cells, neurons, and it'll proceed on the same base into the recollection B, like that, at the time step of T1. And the third one will be the state of C, which is situated like that, C. And so, in reality, we saw in the outer world such images which flow into each other like that, A, B, C. And let us suppose each time one matrix or one recollection or one engramma turns into another. If it has a common cell, that is saves a portion of energy. Common cell equals to sparing of one portion of energy. And we can see that A and B have only one cell in common. But C both have two cells in common with B and with A. So if we transform it in this way, we'll economize 3 portions of energy. And if we proceed, by the way, ACB, we'll economize 4 portions of energy. And this is what happens in the dream. And I can explain all the details how to create this hardware. And this will be the analog of the association of the brain. And this is what the brain lacks. So the computer has better memory than our brains, but doesn't have a living hardware association. And if anybody is interested in these ideas, I supply my email. I'll be glad to receive letters about these ideas, about any ideas I expressed in this today's lecture, and I think that this is all. I cannot invent something more important than that. And thank you very much. First, I have to prepare a stick to get them out of shells. Of course, I could have prepared it from the raw twig, but for ecological reasons I wouldn't do that. Then I take out a cooked snail. Actually it is boiled. I boiled it for half an hour. Now I do it like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is what it eats. You cannot eat this. So you discard it. For the ants. Then you just clean it. Then you take, for instance, a loaf of bread and eat it. And so if you eat 8 of them like that, it's enough for the dinner. That's it. And the last thing, besides this ideas about artificial intelligence, I also invented an instrument which I called Kazaphone, because my name is Kazankov, surname Kazankov, and I invented this musical instrument. It is in action like a pan flute. See, this is a pan flute. But this is a very big pan flute, and it's hard to blow it with your lungs. So I just adapted to it a bow, and I can play it and sing it. Ana he ha ya, ana he ha ne ya he ya he ha ya, ana he ha ya, ana he ha ne ya he ha ya, he ya he ya he, he ya he ya he ha he ha ya, ena he ya he, he ya he ya he ha he ha ya. It's an Indian song. I also make quenas. These are flutes of the South American Indians. And I once made a recording, the introduction to a song of one famous Russian rock singer, which is called "Напои водой." And this YouTube roll has an attendance of more than 6 million viewers, but my name isn't mentioned there, and so I just play this beginning of the melody like it's done on this YouTube. This is an Argentinian folk song, folk tune. Now it's really the end of it. I showed you Mr. Nobody.
Подожди, давай сейчас с этого начала еще раз. Я просто уже выключил.
Thank you. Ну вот.